Hi friends, it's Laura and I am back with yet again another what I sold this week video. I don't feel like that has as cool of a ring as like what sold on Whatnot, but it's not just Whatnot anymore. It's everything. So we are starting off with Whatnot though. Today's show was not as epic as my past many shows have been, but it was still a very good and solid show. I'm very happy with how it went. I sold a total of 22 items today. They are going to 9 different people, 5 of whom are first-time buyers. The sales came to $332 before fees, and after fees, it will come to $286.18. So pretty good, pretty happy with it. We're going to go ahead and get into it and take a look at what I've got. I do have my friend Rizzo sitting here on my table being as saucy as she often is. I have to be very careful picking her up. She don't like it. So I'm getting a little mini bite. Can we not? Thank you. The ears are back. I knew I shouldn't have done it. I knew it, but I did it anyway for all of you. And now she does not like any of these hand motions, right? I know. Okay. A little saucy. Anyway, let's get into it. First item that I sold is this adorable little 2-piece camisole set. This is the type of thing I would usually reserve for eBay. I almost said resolve. I don't know why. I would reserve this for eBay. I stuck it into a show one day because I needed inventory for a show, I guess. And it's been in a couple of shows, but it sold today for $15 for the set, which is adorable. And this is going to a new to me buyer, so hopefully they love it. So I'll get this all packaged up. I waited a little too long today after my show, so now I have to hope that I make it to the post office in time. I mean, I will make it to a post office in time. I just would prefer to go to the one right by my house instead of the one I have to drive to. So, but I think I should be okay. It is 2:15. My post office closes at 4. I think I can get this done in that time. Let me get these folded up all cute and move on to the second item. So today's show had all the usual, things that I thought would get bid up that didn't, things that have been sitting around that I thought everybody hated that got more than one bid, all the usual culprits. There we go. This item, next item that I sold is also to a new to me buyer. They purchased, here we go, this little sweater, which has been in, this is only the second show that this sweater has been in. I started the bidding at 15 and it sold for 19. So that's nice. A little bit of bidding action there. I got this at an estate sale somewhat recently. So that's cool. We'll get this all put away. And as I'm talking about it, we're coming up onto my big show that I keep talking about in every single video, my Tim Burton Raid Train. That's the next Whatnot show I'll be having. And the day after that is the show where I'm going to do all the kids' clothes and the plus size clothing. So the kids' clothes, I've got like 35 items, I think, preloaded as of right now. And I'm not done yet. I still have a decent amount of kids' clothes to still load up. I have not put any of the plus size clothing in there yet. So I have a lot of work to do there. The Tim Burton, I think I have 20 or 25 pieces loaded up into that show. And I know I still have pieces that I haven't loaded up yet, but I don't know that I have enough. I definitely want that to be a really nicely populated show. So I'll have to get that done next. That's going to be my project that I'll work on over this weekend just to make sure that I have enough items to make myself happy. Anything that I don't sell during the Tim Burton Raid Train, I will put into the following day's show with the kids' clothes and the plus size stuff. So we'll see how that goes. All right, next up is another new to me buyer who purchased one item. Oh, okay. There we go. This little 70s dress. This is really cute. It's got this great collar. And this sold for $15, which is excellent. I'm very excited. And also, while I'm doing this, I want to say thank you to my YouTube audience. And I'm not going to remember the username. I'm sorry. I'll try and remember to put it in the comments. But specifically, someone named John gave me my first Superchat on YouTube. I haven't received one of those before. It's a function that I have turned on, but I didn't ever expect to get a super chat. I mostly thought those were things that happened in lives, and I don't go live. But I am really appreciative of it. And it's like, it was a lovely surprise. It was so nice. And it's the first time I've gotten it. So thank you so much. That was really fun. Let's see. Let me get this one bagged up. So far, we got 3 single items, but the next package I have is a 6-item sale. So that's cool. And that's going to a repeat buyer. Let me see. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. So first up, oh, this was funny. So they bought 2 shirts. They bought 6 things total, but 2 of the things they bought were shirts from the 90s with these unhinged tag names. So first is Anxiety, which I just think is funny. And now I've got that like popular TikTok song going on. I know it's not just a TikTok song. That's where I know it from. I've got that playing in my head. So Anxiety, and then Committed, which, really this could be like you're committed to a relationship, but it could also be that you're committed to an asylum. I don't know which way that's going. But with the Anxiety shirt, I thought it was funny. So the first shirt that they purchased was the Anxiety shirt, which I believe sold for 15, but let's just double check it. 10. I had this priced at 10. That is what it sold for. This came from one of the estate sales also, so that was really cute. I got to get it buttoned up so it looks a little presentable. I didn't steam the collar, so the collar's a big fat honking mess, which now I feel bad. I mean, I feel bad about it all the time. I was prepped in advance for my Whatnot show today, which I was really happy about. Because it was just so much easier, especially this morning. Usually the morning of a Whatnot show, I'm up doing things, right? Trying to, pull in things from a previous show or something, right? And this morning I didn't have to do any of that stuff, which was so nice. But even so, like last night, I still was like doing a couple of last minute repairs. Like I found a moth hole or I had to add a button onto something. So there's definitely times where for the amount of work that I do for these shows, it doesn't always seem totally worth it, but I'm always, glad for all of it. But sometimes I do things like not steam things because it's like, okay, I'm tapped out, All right. So that was the first item, $10 for that Anxiety shirt. The Committed shirt was also $10. Really cute. I forget where I got this from, but it doesn't matter. Cute little 90s rayon, and it's got this little corset tie back. This has been at a bunch of shows. So I'm excited that this sold. Let me see if I can fold it nice and neat. All right. Boop. My friend Rizzo took a break and went off somewhere, so that's nice for me. Okay, next on this was another item that I've had in a ton of shows. This men's vintage swim trunks. These have been in a whole bunch of shows and then taken out and then put back in and taken out and put back in again, like so many times. I think they're really cute. And they weren't selling. I think they're cute for women too, but they finally sold today. And not only did they sell, they got bid up a little bit from $15 up to $21. So, you never know. So that was exciting. And next was this little Mickey and Maude vintage sleep tee, which has been in a couple of shows. It's so cute. Mickey and Maude was in a movie in the 80s that had Dudley Moore, and I don't remember who else. Just remember Dudley Moore. Anyway, adorable. And this sold for, I think, 15, but we'll look it up here in a second. Get it straightened out here. This was 15. Let me fold it up. Okay. Then after I get all these Whatnot sales folded up, I have 2 more sales to ship out today. I got an eBay and a Depop that I have to ship out today. You'll see those results at the end of this video. All right. And then the next item that they purchased was this really cute little shirred halter top, not halter top, shirred little crop top. This is a 90s piece. This is made by Speed Limit. And I got this at an estate sale. the most recent one, the one that had all the kids' clothes in it. I know I'm always referencing like, oh, the estate sale where blah, blah, blah happened. I mean, I kind of assume that everybody watching this is a regular viewer. And if you're not, I'm sorry. This little crop top sold for $15. And then the final item that this buyer purchased was this. Can you please? There we go. This vintage, like eggplant colored velour cat suit with stirrup pants. I love it so much. It's amazing. This sold for $15. I'll show you the tag and then we'll fold it up. Look at that. How cute. I love this. This is like the third velvet cat suit that I've found in a few months. And I always pick them up because, of course, I think they're amazing. Rizzo's back, so now I don't have my folding space again. This cat is cute, but... Sorry, Biz. Don't bite me. All right, let me get this wrapped up. And then, of course, today I've got this squeaky floor business going on. Here's my little lint roller. I'm going to need it for something else anyway. There's one skirt that I listed for sale that I thought that I lint rolled before I put it up, and I did not. And it's just like a twill kind of fabric, but it likes to collect all the lint. And so I'm showing it on camera. And, you know, everything on camera is like just magnified and amplified. And it's just like, hey, here's all the lint on this skirt. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. Okay. That's done for that. Let me see if I can, this is just such a weird fold job for this poor little cat suit. Because of a cat, Rizzo business. Thankfully, as always, going to a buyer who already has gotten nicely packaged things from me in the past. So hopefully they will not hold it too much against me. Such a little mess. Okay, let's see. Can we fit it in this bag? It'll fit in this bag, but this jumpsuit thing does not want to stay folded cute. It's being very problematic for me. That. Okay, sorry. I'm doing a video where I'm just not talking. That's our new shtick. Is I'm just going to fold things and you can watch me and I'm going to stay silent. Which I know my boyfriend would probably be excited about. But I don't know if it's so good for YouTube, you know. Okay. Maybe it is. I don't know. Okay. That's all packaged up. Next up, another single item that sold to a new to me buyer who has excellent taste. It was this, I don't know if I told you the story. I mean, whatever. You guys saw this in a haul video very recently, this dress. This is Tori Richard. Okay. And when I looked this up online, because I did just to make sure it wasn't like crazy valuable, I found this exact dress listed. Someone had it listed for sale for $325. And I know you're thinking that sounds a little crazy valuable. I don't think that was necessarily a realistic price point. I do think that it's realistic for this to go over $100, like $150, $200. But not only did they have it listed for $325, the measurements were absolutely incorrect. It was listed as an extra large, and they had the measurements listed as a 34-inch bust. Like, on what planet is a 34-inch bust an extra large? Miss Riz, I got to move you. I'm so sorry, ma'am. Sorry. And then I forget, the waist was like 31. It's like, first of all, that's not even, for this dress, the ratio would not have been 34 bust, 31 waist. And then I forget what the hips were, but they were also like laughably small. But the catch of all of this is that the website it was listed on was The Real Real. And it's like, you would think that this website that theoretically specializes in luxury and had this thing listed for $325, that you'd maybe get a measurement that was like kind of even remotely close to accurate. It was so bad. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, so this dress that I listed, I paid $10 for it. I listed it on here for $40, which obviously compared to $325 is nothing. But again, I don't think $325 was necessarily realistic. If somebody can get $325 for this, I will be thrilled for them. That's amazing. But, you know, I didn't look at it as like a, you know, whatever. I saw the other similar brands, and I mean, some of them were listed quite high, but I thought that some of the other Tory Richards that were listed really high were like just spectacular, like $500-$600, and they looked like $500-$600 dresses. Like I said, the ones sort of $150-$200 seems more realistic for this. But I have, again, so many pieces in my backlog waiting to be listed to Etsy for a whole bunch of money that, like, you know, is better. So I put it on Whatnot for $40, and that's what it sold for. I wasn't sure, something that's a little high for me for Whatnot. So I wasn't sure if either it would kind of sit and not get any attention. Of course, there's always a hope that it'll get bid up, but I'm very happy with $40, as I should be, because that's what I put it up for. So I should be happy with that. So, but that was great. I'm glad that it sold, and I'm excited for the new person. Next up, I have a repeat buyer who purchased 4 items from me. And once again, Rizzo is smack dab in the middle of everything. So first up is this little gingham shacket situation. This seems handmade. It's really cute. I love the collar. It's polyester. And this sold for, I'm going to assume, $15. And there's my squeaky floor. I've been obsessed with this floor all day. I feel like it's extra squeaky today. And I don't know if it's just because I'm hitting it in the right spot or the change in weather made it extra squeaky. I don't know, but it's making me bonkers. Bonkers. Rizzo, she's settling in and getting comfortable. And I have like 2 dresses that I have to fold, and she's going to be in the way. She's cute. All right, there we go. There's that. The second item that this person purchased is this cute little kerchief. And what did I sell this for? It's just like a little head scarfy thing. Ooh, it's backwards, right? So you just like kind of put it. You guys know how this goes. Not like that. I didn't want to untie it because I'm being lazy, but you know, like one of these. Okay. So this sold for $10. It's really adorable. Cute little calico print. Also came from a recent estate sale. Next up, oh good, okay, is this hat, which I also got from the same estate sale. Little roosters on it. So freaking cute. I thought she had another dress. I mean, I'm going to have to fold the other dress in a minute anyway, but, and this sold for $7. I listed it for $5 and it sold for $7. So really cute. Flatten that out a little bit. Okay. And then the final item that this buyer purchased was a 2-piece set. So it's got this dress and then this little sheer jackety situation. And let's see. Oh, sorry. How much did they sell for, Laura? $15. It sold for $15. I'm going to fold it up, but I'm not going to fold it up because this sleeve, see, this is going to make me nuts. The sleeve hem is coming out a little bit, so I have to fix it before I send it off because I did not disclose it. I noticed it while I was showing it, and I was like, okay, if it sells, I'll just fix it before I send it. So I'm going to have to fix it before I send it. That's what I get, but that's okay. Next up is a new to me buyer who purchased 1 item. They purchased this Lurex disco dress kind of set. So it's got this really cute spaghetti strap dress, adorable. And then this black and silver Lurex jacket that goes over it. I also had to repair this. I mean, a really quick, easy repair, but there's like a little loop to hold the button on at the top and the loop had come undone. So I had to fix it. Just all these like little things. And the thing with a lot of these is that they are super easy fixes if you have the tools and the knowledge to fix them. If you have even the knowledge, but not the tools, it's like can be a big impediment to buying, you know? So a lot of the time, stuff like that, you know, I noticed it when I was photographing it yesterday, and I hadn't fixed it yet. And I was like, you know, because I'm in the whole rush and everything. And I just, you know, take note, and I'm figuring, okay, if I sell it, I will just fix it before I ship it out, because, you know, I know that if I could just choose to disclose it. I mean, the price different, I wouldn't have priced it differently if I had left the flaw and disclosed it. But like I said, I feel like it can be a big impediment to making the sale. So I just fix it. Some stuff, you know, I may end up deciding like this isn't worth me trying to fix in order to list it on whatnot, but then I just don't list it in the show, or I list it and I do disclose the flaw, you know, but other stuff I feel like, but then it's got to be like a pretty amazing piece or something that somebody would be willing to just work with the flaw for, you know. Anyway, so I fixed this already. Let's get that folded up, making sure that it was just the one. Yeah. Thankfully, that sleeve cup will be like 2 seconds, but it's just, I got to do it, you know. So. All right, there we go. Next, okay, we'll do this one next. Next is a buyer who purchased 2 items. This is a regular buyer who has amazing taste as always. So the first item that they purchased was this, which I adore. I think this is so cute. It's a little 70s disco kind of shirt, right? Look at that. That print is so cute. Little butterflies. This does have a little flaw in it that I disclosed. And this was listed for $15 and sold for $15. It's definitely one of those things that I thought would get a lot more attention and get bid up. But I did have it as like the first item in the show. I almost listed it in the thumbnail for the show. I did list it in the thumbnail for the show, but then I changed it and put that $40 dress in the thumbnail instead. So if this had been something that I put up later in the show, instead of like the first thing I ran, maybe it would have sold for a little more, but not. Oh, I mean, again, I'm always surprised. So that sold for $15. And then the second item, this is a regular buyer, and I know you watch, she likes to collect these. So this is a Vanity Fair robe. I picked this up knowing that she may be interested. I didn't have it listed in the show because I didn't know if she was going to be in the show. And, you know, she doesn't come every week. And if she did, if she was interested, I wanted to like give her some advance notice that it would be in the show. But since she was in the show, I mentioned it to her, and then I just had to build a quick listing. I don't know how people do these shows where they don't have stuff already preloaded. Because I felt like it was taking me forever to load this up. And I know that I'm putting in more information than most people would in that situation. But oh my gosh, I felt so like everybody's gonna leave immediately if I don't hurry up and get this freaking loaded up. So look how cute it is all folded. Anyway, sold that for $15, I think. Yes. So that was nice. I was excited. I was glad that she liked it. I would have gotten it whether she wanted it or not. So, but I was more than happy to like, you know, hold it. Oops. This robe is a little too fat for me to to stick in one of these tiny bags. So I got to put it in an obnoxiously large bag, but okay, let's see. You're all right, Laura. You can just, we got time. We've got time. I'm not very good at like knowing what certain clients will like. Sometimes I get like a vibe. I'm like, oh, this reminds me of XYZ person, or this person probably really likes stuff like this, but I'm never quite confident enough to sort of like personal shop for people. This is a very specific thing that this person, like these Vanity Fair robes, she likes, which is the only reason I kind of know. There's other stuff. It's like, oh, this seems like her vibe, but you know, I'm not somebody who would like reach out to someone to specifically be like, oh, I found these pieces. They made me, I thought of you. Do you want them? Blah, blah, blah. I feel like that's a high pressure sales pitch kind of thing. And that's not my jam. Let's see. And then the final package that I have to wrap, this is also a repeat buyer who purchased 5 items. So the first is this cute little Y2K ribbed knit top. There's the tag. And this sold for $10. Again, this was like another estate sale find. So it's a little bit easier to, list things at a slightly lower price when I'm getting them a nice big estate sale bulk. Let's see. That. And then the second item, also from an estate sale, is this really cute little embroidered vest. This is the thing I had to fix moth holes on. There they are. Okay. And it's Wayne Rogers. Cute little embroidery. And this sold for $10. That's good. Oh, that's more. $10. That. Okay. And then the next item is the skirt that I'm going to lint roll. And Rizzo does not like lint rolling, so I got to prepare myself for that. But look at this cutie. The fun little dots, but the pink things are cherries. How cute is that? There is a tag in here, but it's just like, it says 100% cotton in German. It's not an exciting tag. Probably like a 90s era. And this sold for $15. All right, so let's lint roll this bibbit and hopefully not get mauled by a cat while we do it. And then you'll see in a few minutes at the end of after the whatnot segment, you'll see the what sold everywhere else, but it's been kind of a slow week everywhere else. So, but I've been paying so much attention to whatnot with the stupid additional shows I've got coming up that I feel like it's hurting my other platform sales. It's all right, Biz. I did make 2 sales on Depop, which I am crediting a little bit to Vendu's sharing service. I think that has something to do with it. I've been using, I've talked about it before, Vendu's, I use Vendu to cross post, and they are offering in beta mode marketplace sharing. So, if you're not familiar, a lot of platforms like you to constantly be in there and like sharing your listings within the app. It's very annoying. And Depop kind of does that. And I just don't do it, because I'm not going to sit there all day and like share 800 items. Like, I'm not fucking doing it. But Vendu lets you use their sharing service through their platform. And so I did that. I mean, I don't even think I do it once a day, but considering I've gone months without doing it at all, I'm sure it made a difference. And so I've made 2 little sales this week in Depop, which was nice. There was a third thing that somebody sent me an offer on, and it was like first thing in the morning when I saw the offer, and I went to go counter it, but I hit the accept button by accident, and it's not like, are you sure? It just accepts it. And I was like, fuck. So anyway, they don't always pay on Depop, so we'll see if they pay. But I mean, I've had it long enough, whatever, but it was lower than I wanted. The next item that this buyer purchased were these pants, these Y2K like snakeskin print pants with these sequins sewn all over it. So cool. I'll show you the tag in a second. And these sold for $15 also. There we go. Very cute. Get this folded up away from this aggravated beast. She did not like the lint roller action at all. It agitates her a lot. So, all right, there's those. And then the final item of this buyer's items, and also of the items that I need to package, is this 1960s sheath dress, like an evening gown style. It's very long. Has a little metal zipper down the back with these cute little bows. Love it. And this sold for the low, low price of $15. So, but I'm very excited. I paid $4 for it, so that's nice. And obviously this person bought a whole bunch of stuff. They're a repeat buyer. And this is all like little pebbles in the bucket is the whatnot strategy. All right, Rizzo's directly in the way. Anyway, so I guess I don't need to keep you on while I struggle with this folding and this cat, but that's what I sold today on Whatnot. So that was very exciting. And then I will show you all in just a moment for you, but not until tomorrow for me, all the stuff that I've sold on all of the other platforms this week. So stay tuned. Can't even find my end button. All right, let's see what I sold everywhere else. The number of items that I sold has improved slightly since last week, but it's still not fantastic, but let's go through it. So first up, we've got Etsy with this really adorable dress. This is so cute. It was a Y2K, I guess 90s era, like super stretchy dragon print maxi dress. I had it listed for $79. The buyer used a coupon for 20% off. So either like an abandoned cart or like a favorited item coupon that gets sent out automatically through Etsy. So that brought this down to $63.20. I paid shipping of $6.25. So my total made on this was $56.95. So yay. Next, also on Etsy, this shirt I had listed for $39. As you can see, the buyer did not use any kind of coupon. The shipping cost was $4.84. So I made $34.16 on this shirt. I think it's so cute. This little like tequila. Is it tequila? It's not tequila, is it? Yeah, it is. I'm trying to show you the graphic. A little red worm. It's cute. The shirt was a little janky, like it was kind of printed crooked, but the graphic was really cute and it was, vintage. So it was super awesome. Anyway, next is this yellow dress. It was really sweet. I got a message from a woman. It sounds a little weird, but I ultimately thought it was sweet. She basically said her husband passed away several years ago and she wanted to get this dress to wear to be buried in. She is much older. And she said that for their first date ever, she wore a yellow dress. And so she wanted to be in a yellow dress again when she met her husband again in heaven. So I thought that was really sweet. It was like a little bit morbid to think of, but I guess when you are of that age, when that time is coming, it does not seem so morbid. And I'm happy to be able to be part of her reunion with her husband. So that was very nice. Anyway, the dress was listed for $59. She also used a coupon for 20% off. So that brought that down to $47.20. The shipping cost me $8.22. I believe I did send this out priority mail. So the total came to $38.98. I've had this dress for a very long time. And it's really nice that I got to go to someone who's going to appreciate it as much as she will. This came from a gigantic, like, attic estate. It wasn't a sale. It was like a collection of stuff that I was gifted, basically. So that was really cool. And I'm also positive that the previous owner would be very glad for its purpose in use. So that's nice. All right, next up is this little black velour shirt. It's just a short sleeve sweatshirt. I don't know that a close-up view gives you a better idea, but it was really cute. Here's the tag. I listed it at $49. The buyer used a 25% off coupon because they were a repeat buyer. So on Etsy, I have a thank you coupon that gets sent out. So they get 25% off of their next purchase. Oh, I did not need to scroll there. And so that brought it down to $36.75. Shipping was $5.80. So the total I made on this was $30.95. Now we're going to move over to eBay. eBay was short and sweet this week. Panties. So the first pair of panties that I sold was this Y2K Victoria's Secret panty. It's really pretty. I had it listed for $29. It sold for $29. I do not do free shipping. So the total I made on these was $29. And then the next item that I sold was also panties. I was excited about these though. Really adorable, like 50s era panties that I got somewhat recently and probably the past month or two. Here's the tag. So cute. And it had these little embroidered ants printed all over them. So adorable. I kind of wanted to keep these, but I knew I wouldn't wear them. Um, anyway, so I had them listed for $149. The buyer sent me an offer for $125. I accepted it. I did not pay any shipping, so I made $125 on these. And then coming up next, sort of bringing up the rear, so to speak, is Depop. I made 2 sales on Depop this week. I am feeling like I can attribute it to the fact that I've been using Vendu's like sharing feature, the marketplace sharing thing that they have in beta right now, because I normally don't share my Depop stuff at all. I don't bother with that. And I've been running it. I don't even want to say daily. It hasn't been daily, but I try to remember to do it once a day. So I did get 2 sales on Depop. They weren't earth-shattering sales. You can see this is a really cute little picture. This is some weird little wall art thing. It was like a cardboard print with a little plastic frame around it. I initially got it just for myself because I thought it was so cute, but I didn't really. The place I originally hung it, I kept knocking it off the wall by accident because it was over by my shipping. So I ultimately decided to list it. It has this little scribble on its nose, which was frustrating, but what are you going to do? It's still super cute. I listed it for $24. The buyer sent me an offer for $16, which is lower than I normally would like, but I've had this thing for a long time. It's got some damage, so I accepted the offer. Shipping was $6.07, so I made $9.93. So, not much, but I may even have paid fees on this because this is probably old enough that I still had it listed when Depop was still charging seller fees. And so anything that they were, that was listed when they were still charging seller fees, you will still get charged a fee as a seller. So only the newer things that you listed after whatever the cutoff date was, there are no seller fees. This one, so I basically didn't really make much on this, but that's okay. And the final item that I sold this week was this dress. It's really cute. This was a fun little dress that I found 2 of them at the same time when I got it. And it's just a little shift dress. You can see the back is plain, and it had all this embroidery on it. And you could tell that it was like both of the dresses I found, same exact embroidery patterns. They were 2 different color dresses. This came from an old kit. There were certain areas, I don't know if I photographed it here, where you could kind of see the outline, but it would have had the pattern printed on the fabric. Or maybe it was like an iron-on thing. I'm not positive, but then you would use that pattern and embroider it into the fabric, and it came with all the parts. I think the fabric and the zipper, etc. So you would embroider this and then sew the dress together. Little metal zipper. So it was really cute, but it was really fucking small because of the hips. So I didn't list it for super high. It was listed for $39. I don't remember if I sent out an offer or the buyer sent me one, but there was an offer for $29.30, probably 25% off. I accepted it. The shipping cost on this for me was $5.80. So I made a total of $23.50 on this. And that's it. That's my sales for the week. I made 0 sales on Poshmark. The last time I made a sale on Poshmark, I think was like April 21st. So very long time ago at this point, but there we are. So hopefully I don't know if things will pick up on my alternate platforms this week because I'm still focusing so heavily on these whatnot shows that I've got coming up. So I'm trying to throw a couple of listings up on Etsy and eBay and all of those places, here and there, but I'm not being super consistent with it. And I don't anticipate being consistent again until probably next week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to be hopeful, but I'm putting a lot of eggs in the whatnot basket at the moment temporarily. So that's all I got. I hope that you found all of this helpful and or motivating. Maybe it helps if your sales are slow to know that mine are slow too. Maybe it motivates you. Who knows? I don't know. I hope you find it interesting and or motivating. Thank you so much for watching this, and I will see you again real soon, I hope.